Motor City Sports Talk. We back speaking on Stan Van Gundy. Check out the podcast link. I'm gonna start doing some podcasts real soon. And if you want some draft talk coming up right around the combine and some episodes, man, click on the other page link. And don't let the name fool you. We do more than boxing talk. Do a lot of life talk, and it's a good channel, man, that I been had for a long time. But we here, man, and Pistons on a 3-game loser streak, and I know a lot of people gonna compare this Blake Griffin thing to when Iverson came here and they was winning a little bit. Then, the slide started, but is it time for a culture change for the Detroit Pistons? It seems that way. Stan had a lot of power, with his GM, and he got a lot of, personnel control and coaching. And a lot of these people he brought here. And if you just say off the decision to bring Reggie Jackson here and sign him to an $87 million contract, yeah, you could fire him, but let's continue to watch what he does. That was real loss of words right there. That was no pun intended right there. That was real loss of words. Man, it's just crazy how hard the Pistons fell after transitioning from the going to work Pistons, and when we lost Ben Wallace, and then we lost to Cleveland, and then the team broke up. But you look at an organization like San Antonio, who clearly has their they stuff in order and have a system, and they transition, seamlessly from Tony Parker and Ginobili era and Tim Duncan era on to what they have now, and they was able to get the big marquee free agent and LaMarcus Aldridge, and the Pistons just was a organization in flux, and I think not drafting Carmelo Anthony set this organization back a long ways, and it destroyed Carmelo Anthony's career, and I'll do a video on that later on in the day, Tuesday. But man, I don't know what else he can do. He hasn't really got through to this team. In Orlando and Miami, he got through and made his imprint with Dwight Howard. He hasn't been able to mirror what he done with Andre Drummond. What he did with Dwight Howard, which is get a ball to Dwight. In the post, the White workout, get to, or they collapse the paint on the White, and the White just kick it out to the open 3-point shooters. He don't have a Hito Turkoglu, a guy that can handle the rock and distribute it. He don't have, a point guard, to spot up and shoot like that. Or you don't have the person that can play Hito Turkoglu and distribute and be able to score and make the right decisions. It's a lot missing on the personnel of the Pistons. Like guard play, what I'm saying? He got big guy play, and Drummond and Blake Griffin. That's good, but you need some guard play. Luke Kennard was a good pick. I like him a lot, but you need a point guard, and you need some wings that can shoot. You need some consistent players, and a lot of players are starting for the Pistons right now, and Ish Smith and even Reggie Jackson once he come back. Luke Kennard at this point, Bullock and Stanley Johnson. Them guys are rotational bench players, and Stan is responsible for bringing personnel in as well, and he hasn't cut it, especially in the draft, especially for eye for talent. There's no way, no offense to Mr. Luke Kennard, who I think is going to be a fantastic professional for the Pistons, but there's no way that, you let, Kyle Kuzma get past you, a guy with that talent, get all the way to 24. You have to identify talent. When you're not a bad, terrible franchise, when you get Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, you can't let picks like Giannis Antetokounmpo, slide past you and pick Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. You have to identify, jewels in the rough. You have to, and the Pistons haven't been doing that. They are reluctant to be really, really bad and sell off all their assets and be a terrible team and get a top 5 lottery pick or something of that nature. And if it was any time to be that shitty team, it's now. The next 2 drafts are going to be, loaded. But they are reluctant to do that. They want to put fans in the seats, but Philly went through the same process. You have to be a very, very bad team, in order to get top tier talents in cities like, Detroit and Philadelphia. That's not LA, that's not New York, that's not, beautiful places like Miami. You have to be you have to be a terrible team, and they haven't done that, and they haven't found the diamonds in the rough as well. So, overall, yeah, he got to go, and also, dropping the ball on Chris Middleton, Spencer Dinwiddie, guys that came up in your organization that's now contributing in other organizations, shows that you can't develop, late round and mid round talent and later talent. You can't develop talent. Chris Middleton is a very, very good player for the Milwaukee Bucks, and Spencer Dinwiddie is breaking out right now. Had a few big games last year, and these are, players that came through your organization, and developed somewhere else. And this shows that the Pistons never want to play young talent. They don't. They want to be a bad team playing old veteran talent that's already maxed out or already hit their potential. And they need a competent, runner of the franchise. They need somebody that's young, innovative, and that's getting their first shot, and that understands that you either going to have to be bad or identify talent in the rough. And I agree, with everything, my man's Detroit Everything channel, Stan Van Gundy. It's time for him to go and bring somebody fresher and younger with a brighter mind in. We gone.